All right, welcome back to the BFR Podcast presented by Sports Mockery and Fanatics. My name is Dave. Cover the Bears for SM. I'm joined by my good friend, co-host Ficky, who is in Mexico celebrating a wedding. I think the wedding's over. But that's about the only thing you're celebrating this weekend right now.
What's sad is this happens every year, but my birthday is literally an hour, and the Bears always lose on my birthday. So thank you, Chicago
First
Bears.
of all,
I appreciate that.
Happy birthday to you, Fick.
Thanks.
A terrible birthday present. I know it's an hour away,
I'm
but
used to it.
God.
I'm used to it by now.
So we're going to recap Bears versus Texans. Horrible game all around. The defense, I say this so often as a Bears fan, but the Bears defense deserves so much better tonight. They needed an offense to pick them up. And just like year after year, it just wasn't there. Now, this is a different circumstance. Caleb Williams is a rookie. I understand that. So I'm going to try and keep everything pretty tame. But I want to do ahead. First of all, I want to talk about a tweet. I said that Justin Fields was not the problem. I want to go ahead and clarify why that is. And it should be the offensive line. Not that Justin is a savior or anything like that, but there's just so many issues deeper with this team from last year even to this year. And I know they did a lot of good things, additions, but man, I think they missed the mark in the trenches. You talk about the trenches, Ficky, but it's just, 36 pressures Houston got tonight, according to Next Gen Stats. That's unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, Fick, we'll kind of keep this tame, but first, raw thoughts right now regarding this close Sunday night game, believe it or not.
You know what? I want to put this comment out here because it said fire Eberflus. I actually think this is another game that made him look better. The team lost, but the only reason we're in this game is because he's a mastermind with this defensive squad. The problem is never that side of the ball, like you said. The issue is always and forever with this Chicago Bears team. It is the offense. I made a tweet joking because I don't think this is actually what's going to happen. But I was like, only the Bears would be the team that would draft a generational talent that would forget how to throw a football as soon as he put on the navy and orange. And that's not saying I'm not pro Caleb or anything like that. I'm not saying that. But watching the game today and the game last week, you can't walk away and be like, wow, that looked like the same guy from USC. I know he's a rookie. I get that. There's rookie growing pains. But it's just like, bro, what the fuck am I watching? What? He still has a spectacular plays here and there. So, I know it's in him. And he'll get course corrected. Who? What?
Who had spectacular plays?
Oh, no. Caleb, still, his pocket awareness is still pretty good.
I'm not
Bro, he broke away from three. He could have got sacked 3 more times.
Easy. There was just nothing. I understand he was dead in the water a lot of these snaps, but at the same time, the accuracy that he showed on his college tape, throwing deep, is just not here through 2 games. And so the spectacular there was a lot of plays that were left out there that could have been spectacular. Sometimes that Caleb didn't even give him a chance, like his receiver a chance. You saw the miss to DJ Moore late that actually caused a lot of frustration on the sidelines from DJ. And I think it's probably a buildup between, the false starts, all the flags, and then you have DJ running a great route and the ball's not even there. It's not even there's not even a potential attempt to bring this catch in or bring the ball in.
Those ones, Dave, I'm less concerned about that because that's timing and miscommunication. The accuracy, though, that one's a little tough because it's bro, you've had that in your bag. That was always something you had at USC. Maybe, I know it's only 2 games, and we do have a right to feel this way. Maybe all of this is very fixable. Could be, right? Because there's no way your talent just falls off like that, right? But it is very shocking that we're seeing it this early, immediately from the jump. I don't think anyone expected, we understood growing pains, but Jesus Christ, right from week 1, first snap, and then obviously the play calling is not helping, which we'll get to, and then the offensive line not fucking blocking. So it's just a mesh of just messiness. There's nothing. There's no cohesion on anything. Muted.
I think Caleb has 42. What was it? 42 dropbacks today. to be pressured on 36 of those is just, it's unreal. And that's why it's hard to put a lot of this on him. Although, like I said, there were moments where it just wasn't pretty. There were misses. Caleb,
Yeah, a lot.
the accuracy is alarming. It really is. Through 2 games, I did not expect him, and probably has a lot to do with everything being sped up due to the lack of protection. I mean, the Bears, to get to Caleb Williams, all you got to do is just run a stint. Like it is as simple as that. Confuse Nate Davis, and you're gonna get through. Like it just was unbelievable, and it's hard not to just like go off on just this organization, because it's always year after year it is something detrimental, and the offensive line has actually been an issue the last couple of years, even with Justin Fields, where there was a lack of protection. And I know you go out and you get these weapons, we're all super excited, but everyone in Chicago was like, did they do enough to protect him? Like, can they keep him up? And my thought process is, well, Caleb's going to get the ball out, and he did. He was really, really good getting it. When he got it out in 2.5 seconds, it was beautiful, especially that first half. But then that second half where, oh my God.
There's pressure though. That's all it is. But that's the thing too. Like, and it's the same problems we had with Fields, right? If you're a quarterback and you don't have time, you're more likely going to be flustered. You're not going to get to your reads. So it's hard to like even analyze completely when you're getting demolished or someone's in your face. And some of his passes, some of his completions, there were still pressures. Like you said, 36 out of 42 dropbacks. That's crazy.
Is unreal.
Wild.
I want
to. How is that even possible?
So I want to go through some of these other stats here. So obviously everyone watched the game, but Caleb's was 23 of 37. So he had 37 dropbacks, 174 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 picks. He had a nice play to Rome. I thought that was a catchable ball. Although it was tough, I thought Rome was actually come down with it. He didn't. Of course, they scored. Herbert scored on the next play, which you love to see Herbert out there. I thought he looked pretty good on he only had 2 carries, which is kind of crazy as well, but he had 3 yards on those 2 carries. And of course the touchdown. Caleb Williams had 5 carries for 44 yards. DeAndre Swift had 14 carries. Ficky, guess how many yards he had?
Oh, I already know. It was like 17 or something.
He had 18 yards, dude. 14 carries on 18 yards. Or 14 carries.
But that's another thing too, though, because I saw Olin Kreutz talking about it, and I saw a friend of the show, Kyle Long, talk about it as well. He was saying the scheme of how the interior line was blocking, like maybe let's say it's an outside run, right? You'd see they'd be doing inside zone assignments, and then your tackle would be doing outside zone. And so what happens is a lot of times on these outside runs, bro, Swift would be tackled as soon as he would go outside the tackle. I remember one particular with Braxton Jones, and he just gets tackled immediately. It's not even like, what is he supposed to do? So I feel like the bad news, let me try to paint this right. The bad news is that you're not feeling really good about the offensive scheme from Shane Waldron right now, right? The good news, though, is maybe a lot of these issues are easily fixed. Like, communication issues, identifying your targets on the offensive line. You know what I mean? NFL's a long season. The problem is, which we both agree to, is that it is very hard to have faith on that side of the ball because we've never had the luxury of actually having it, at least in a long time. So,
yeah. No, I think just overall, the Bears lost by 6 points, right? It was 19-13.
13, yeah.
I mean, you had a chance to win it. You go down, you score a touchdown, and it looked promising. You had that 20-yard completion to Rome, who broke a tackle. And then the very next play or next sequence was a sack. I mean, it was a clean path to the quarterback. I really am shocked he came out of this game, healthy. At least from what we've heard, nothing's been reported. He was out there for every snap. But seriously, the beating he took tonight, it was very, very similar to Justin Fields type games where he is just getting beat up. And you can't question, you can never question Caleb's toughness, just like Justin. But it's weird to see the similarities in year one. Now for Caleb, and now we're 2 games into this. And the craziest fact is you're 1-1, right? You expected to lose to Houston. But I think what hurts the most here is you had a chance to win it. Your defense gave you so many opportunities. It was like the Bears are alive and then they're dead. alive, dead, alive, dead. And the defense just deserved so much better. They deserved an offense to, fire back a little bit. And they weren't firing back at all. It was just yellow flag, false start, false start.
I think that's what's crazy too, because you put it really well in perspective there. Like, we've won a game, had a chance to beat a top 5 team, right? Or at least a playoff team, a really good team. So realistically, it's like, it's not a bad, it could be worse. And it has been worse for seasons before. The problem is, I think that us, national media, I don't say anyone's wrong with it. We're like, yo, we'd expect Caleb to maybe fire off a little bit quicker. I don't think we expect the offensive line to regress this much, right? And again, maybe these things can be cleaned up. A lot of it's like false start penalties, not picking up stunts. That's more about knowing your assignment. It is a new scheme. It's a first-time OC, right? Not first-time OC, but a new OC, so they have to learn the stuff. Doesn't mean that we shouldn't be pissed about it, and you had all offseason to get it right. But my little bit of hope, tiny bit of hope, like 5%, is that maybe some of this stuff can get corrected, and we do see that in the NFL. Stroud had an amazing, record-breaking season last year, and he had a slow start to begin with, which is even more impressive that he just took off. But, we got 17 games. Maybe if it's like game 5, week 5 or 6, and it's still like, bro, we cannot move the ball, then I might be like, okay, maybe we're just doomed. But I'm trying to be a little bit have some sanity, but I totally understand, because deep down, I'm like, yo, fuck this team, fuck this offense. It's not going to work.
Yeah, I think the hardest part to kind of keep the faith is just the offensive line is just in such a bad state. And it's not like you can just go and, pluck someone off the street, and perhaps they'll be better, but not much. But you just can't trade for, linemen, really, at least really good one, because good teams, they don't let those type of players go. It's rare. And so, I want to go over the team stats real quick as well, because it is really, really interesting. The Bears and Texans both had 15 first downs. However, the total yards, Texans had 310, Chicago had 205. Chicago had 134 passing yards to the Texans 235. The rushing yards, believe it or not, a lot of this is from Caleb scrambling as well, but 71 total rushing yards, 75 for the Texans. The Texans averaged 5.1 yards per play, while Chicago was at 3.1. Third down efficiency, Texans were 4 for 14, and Chicago was 6 for 17. Total plays were relatively even, 61-66 in Chicago's favor. And then, of course, they gave up 7 sacks. Houston got CJ was sacked 3 times. And the penalties, which was insane, 19 total penalties in this game, 12 to Houston, 9 to Chicago. So just a ugly game. The time of possession was, of course, similar, but they lost the turnover battle. They did. 2 picks from Caleb. Now, there was a fumble loss from Andrew Billings, which was, he is just an insane value signing. I know they extended him last year. He is just such a big presence, and he's such an insane player. For what they're paying him, I think they're just getting such great return. And shout out to Jack Sanborn as well, who I wanted to kind of highlight here. But overall, the stats are some are mind-boggling, because it's like, oh, maybe the game shouldn't have been this close. But the fact that it was a 1-score game, Bears had a chance to win it at the end. Well, they really didn't have a chance, because the O-line just cannot pick up a blitz. And of course, the pressure was just insane. So, Ficky, I guess I want to start with Caleb. As far as the grades go, how are you grading this one? Raw reaction. I know we haven't sat down, watched all 22. God, I don't want to. But
I know it's not gonna be good for sure.
How are you going to grade this overall? Second game on the road, probably a contender in the AFC in Houston.
Look, Caleb is not his best. It was not his best day. I do not think, nor will I be able to even comprehend this thought that this is the Caleb Williams we have. I really do not feel that. It takes time. always go back to this one. Peyton Manning, right? That everyone uses this analogy. He still holds the interception record as a rookie with like 29. And I'm pretty sure he had an okay career, right? I'm pretty sure he did fine. I'm not saying he's going to go down that path, but I'm saying like this stuff happens. If what would be worse is if the O-line was giving him time and he was sitting back there not making right reads. And you're just like, dude, throw to the guy who's open. Just throw it. Instead, we're seeing the opposite, where it's like, dude, you don't have time. So you're either doing short check downs, which makes sense, or you're trying to, in essence, it reminded me a little bit of USC. He's trying to do like hero ball. That's much harder to do in the NFL because literally everyone is amazing. So to answer your question, what would I give a grade for Caleb? Like a D. You threw 2 picks. You didn't have any touchdowns. There was miscommunications on some of the choice routes, some of your comeback routes.
Yeah.
I mean, look, my bold prediction was 300. So I don't even know if you cracked it, 150?
No, he had so Caleb had he had 174 passing. And 44 on the ground. So over 200 total yards.
You're not going to get an A if you don't get over 200 yards. Like, it's just,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Last week, he didn't turn the ball over, so that was good. Because I think I can't remember I was trying to find the stat, but I think Caleb at USC only had like 2 multiple game interceptions in his whole career. Not USC, I meant in college or something like that. It was some small number, right? So,
yeah.
See, to have 2 interceptions, and technically you had 3. I know, I get it. It's a big boy league over here.
First interception that didn't count, ended up being negated due to the hands to the face or hold or something along those lines.
Yeah, it was a defensive holding.
Can't remember, but that was an insane catch. Like, that was awesome.
For sure.
Houston's DBs are better than I thought. Like, I knew they were decent. Overall, but the 2 defensive fronts that we have faced, just very, very impressive. Danielle Hunter, who is a guy I wanted in free agency to go along.
Mm-hmm.
Was he a free agent or did they trade for him? I thought he was a free agent, right?
No, he was a free agent. They traded for Mixon.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
What a pickup along him with Will Anderson. I mean, those guys are legit. I think the Bears offensive line just, again, outclassed. I really am curious to watch Tevin Jenkins' film. Just because I want to see. I thought he had a decent game, but even Coleman Shelton was a little bit better than last week, I believe. So
it had to be.
There's some positives.
You can't get worse. No, I feel you.
So what was your overall grade with Caleb?
Oh, I said D, but I see some people here saying like C+. It's just, look, in the NFL, you can't turn the ball over. So those 2 turnovers, right? Whether it's his fault completely or not, like you can't do that. That's how you have to have an opportunity to win the game. You have 1 less interception. Maybe we do. That's 1 extra drive, right? Where maybe we had a chance to actually march down and score. So I can't give you a high grade if you have multiple turnovers. So
yeah,
not that he would have one anyways for this game.
I'll go with for my grade for Caleb. And this is initial raw reactions, at the end of the day. But I think this one he had some chances here. And the hero ball, I thought it was very interesting take because, we knew that coming in that we saw it at USC, especially last year where he was just trying to do too much. And today I thought there was, he was extending. I think that he broke a sack attempt from, I think it was Will Anderson. He kind of rolled out, and that's where I think his first interceptions took place. But I think there was some hero ball, and I love that because you don't want to take that away. But it's like the accuracy that was just so alarming and like out there. Like, I just am shocked at how he's not just missing by like a little bit, maybe even like a foot. Sometimes it's like 10 yards down. Like, there was a throw to DJ, or I'm sorry, I think it was DJ, just way over his head. And I think that has to do with all the pressure. It's speeding up. He's not setting his feet. But sometimes I'm like, man, he just looks like he's just throwing the ball away. Like, he's not even going to give DJ a chance or give, Rome a chance. And for me, I'm going to go probably D+ because at the end of the day, there were some plays that were left out there. But I mean, there's probably some false starts as well that probably kind of I don't know. He looked in command for the most part, which was very, very encouraging, especially during that first half. But I'm gonna go D plus. Just I can't really go to C because that's like average for me, and I just think he was just a little below average, and not all his fault. We all know that.
Yeah, I'm like, is how much of this again is rookie? Because like getting your footwork down, all those things, right? So I'm hoping again. I keep using that word because that's all we have at the moment. But I'm hoping that some of this stuff can get corrected. And I know it's not going to get corrected by next week, right? But like, this is not the stuff we like. He's never been an inaccurate thrower. And you still see some of his like he had a dart today. I think he had 2 of them where you're like, oh, that's the Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
And then last week,
it was that
he had
second
a couple
drive.
of lasers. Yep, exactly. And then he had a couple lasers last week where you're like, oh, yeah, that's the Caleb Williams. So when he's missing on these ones, I'm like, okay, is it timing? Is it the, miscommunication on the depths of the route? You know what I mean? Like, is it your footwork like how it was last week? I'm hoping that like, hey, let's go to the drawing board. Let's look at this. Let's coach this up. And it's not like Caleb just literally forgot how to throw a ball because that's not the case. You don't see that. Like people that are accurate in college are typically accurate in the NFL. It's one of the hardest things to like improve. And people don't just like lose that. They come to the NFL and they can't read a defense or something like that. It's like more the mental, less of the physical. So I'm hoping that can get coached up. The question is, though, I don't know how much faith I have that gets coached up.
Yeah. I think there is. I think that can lead us to Shane Waldron in that conversation because I think that was something that a lot of Bears fans, a lot of people were talking about. I think there is some personnel issues that Shane is struggling with. Like Gerald Everett screens are kind of crazy to me that I think that's something he likes to dial up because now it's becoming a theme. You saw it week 1, and he went to it again in his bag in week 2. And then you also had Gerald Everett who dropped. And this is actually kind of a bigger play than I think most people probably even realize is it was 1st and 10. And this is the final drive. Kind of set it up here. I think it was right after Rome's big play.
It was.
And it's a quick out to Gerald Everett. It's on the money, and Gerald Everett drops it. And it doesn't seem like a big play, but then it allows, and I think Collinsworth even talked about it, allows Houston to dial up another blitz because now it's 2nd and 10. Let's go get Caleb. And it's worked all game, so why the not, right? So for me, why the hell is Everett in these situations? I don't get it. Cole got smacked early in the game, in the middle of the field, got hit hard as hell, bro, and held onto that ball. Cole doesn't drop much. And for me to see Gerald Everett in that situation, and I'm not sure, maybe it doesn't change the game, right? It's 2nd and 5. I just think that is a lot better because Caleb was actually pretty decent when you kept, you're up ahead, instead of being like, these 3rd and longs or 2nd and 14, but keeping, chugging along and making it, kind of 2nd and 6, 2nd and 5 or shorter was just so much better. And obviously every quarterback is going to be better when those type of situations, but Shane Waldron is really losing me, and it's week 2, and it's hard for me to like blame the OC because that's what we like to do. Luke Getsy, we did it early, and I was like, are we in the right?
But I think like I understand that the OC is always the easiest to blame, but literally, he's at least a part of the blame. Like maybe
he shares a lot of the problem.
The offensive line coach, but like it's the offensive side. It's not like we're seeing it anywhere else. Like defense and special teams are fine. So where else is the blame going to go? It can't even go to Eberflus. I mean, maybe because he hired him. And again, things can get corrected, but this is just how we feel right now. But it's not like Eberflus is calling anything on that side of the ball. Everything Eberflus calls works. That's the only reason we're in games. So it's like, I think it's fair in this situation to be like, yo, what the fuck? Because it's not, bro. I didn't even know that we didn't get in the red zone. Like, that's how bad this offense has been. I didn't even know we didn't even get in the red zone week 1 until they mentioned it. I was like, wait, what? This is our first time in the red zone? And Caleb Williams still doesn't have a touchdown pass through 2 weeks. Now.
No, but he's been sacked 9 times.
Bro.
It's crazy.
But you know what, though? Compared to some other rookie quarterbacks, I mean, he's not like – this is the thing. Like, it's concerning, but you don't look like Bo Nix out there. You know what I mean? It's like like you still look like Caleb Williams. You're just not at your peak because I feel like you're getting pressured way too much.
I think the cool thing with Caleb, or the most positive thing, is when I think you're able to protect him, I think he's going to be insane. I think he's going to be really, really good. The problem is you don't want to kill his development early, similar to, other situations. Not even Fields, just young quarterbacks can get confidence. I mean, and Caleb's a confident guy, probably up there, top tier in regards to confidence. And you see him at the end of the game, I mean, almost doing that Justin Fields where he's laid back on the bench, just like breathing. And and we saw it here. I mean, we're not going to bring up the pressures again, but it's just laughable. It's like laughably bad. It's not even funny, really. It's a disgrace. I think the Bears have done a really good job kind of changing the franchise, but it's like, how can you miss this much on the O-line? Like, how can it be this bad this early? Because it doesn't make me feel confident that it's going to be fixed.
Well,
now, the issue is,
I think, go ahead.
Go ahead. No.
I was going to agree with you. The thing is that, so I saw some people saying like, well, Ryan Poles hasn't blah, 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 blah. Obviously, we're both high on Ryan Poles. The problem is Ryan Poles came in here, right? And there were so many holes. Like, it takes time. You only get 7 picks, if that, right? You can't be like, oh, look at all this great stuff you got over here. Like, obviously, you can't get everything.
Right.
I think Ryan Poles first off, Ryan Poles and Ian Cunningham were both offensive line. So I think they understand the importance of offensive line. And they did get Darnell Wright. So it's like it was never touched. I think next year, the priority, because it's not like you need anything it's not like you need any weapons or things like that, right? Depending on the Keenan situation. But it's got to be offensive line and defensive line. Like, it's got to be the trenches. And I think they understand that. Because that's really, if we think about it, right? Everywhere else, particularly on defense, secondary is good. Linebackers are good. We've seen that again this week. D-line, you need some improvements, right? You flip it on the other side. DJ Moore is still DJ Moore, GOAT. Running back room will be fine if you can block for him, right? Because that's important. And then just like tight end room's good. You just need your offensive line. So it's like going in, they know that those are the final holes that have to get filled for us to be in actual true contender stage. So the problem though is that we're going to have to endure this season unless they make some crazy trade, which, like you said, you normally don't see that with offensive linemen. You see that more with like the star-studded positions, like wide receiver, defensive end, you know what I mean? Because they're holding out, like they want a new contract. It doesn't happen. But like offensive linemen is not the case. So that's the thing I don't have hope in, and I agree with you, Dave. Can that get resolved? Like, can this offensive line be at least like decent by week 8? Otherwise, Caleb's going to get killed.
We'll see. I mean, there'll be matchups that are a little bit better than these last 2 weeks for the Bears offensive line. I want to bring up some comments here. It says, we want quick results from Plastic Rockets. We want quick results, or we want quick instant results. Doesn't work that way. Totally understand that. Bears are 1-1. I mean, grand scheme of things, this is probably where you thought this team was going to be at. I know I said it earlier, but 1-1, you'll take that. It's just the way the Bears have gotten to 1-1 is just, it makes you feel like 0-2. That's the best way I can put it. But they are 1-1, and they're going against a very beatable team in Indianapolis, because I think the Bears defense is going to be able to
eat them,
wreak havoc on Anthony Richardson, who is just so inconsistent. He may have a couple crazy plays similar to like Justin Fields-esque, but I think this defense is going to really have a big week 3 ahead of them, but we'll see.
This defense held its own against a very, very, very good offense.
Talented. Nico Collins is
dog. Yeah.
So I don't ever want to play him again.
For sure.
He's unreal. God.
And that's the thing though. That's where you can feel confident about. It's like the defense has shown up that, what we had most faith in is accurate. So it's like you're almost calming me down now and I'm listening to you, because you were like, look, this is realistically where we're going to be at. Everything we thought was going to happen is kind of happened. The only thing that's been different is the Caleb experiment. You know what I mean? So if that just starts to
it's the journey to 1-1 is not the way we thought.
For sure.
Because I think
And
most people
we all think
thought,
we're going to
hey,
beat the Colts next week.
you beat Tennessee, you score a couple touchdowns, Caleb looks good. Maybe he has a pick or two. It's okay. That didn't go as planned. There was no touchdowns. It was horrendous, but Bears, of course, won with defense and special teams. You go into Houston, probably thought you were going to lose this one more than likely, maybe even a blowout. Rookie quarterback on the road. Houston's an AFC contender. It's not good. However, again, you kind of feel bad with this result because you're in this one until the very end, and your defense played well enough to win this. And that's what's disappointing. You hold an AFC contender with an electric offense in Houston to 19 points at home. That's unreal. Nico Collins, of course, went off for 8 receptions, 135 yards, but that's it. You stop Joe Mixon, who had, 9 carries for 25 yards.
Yeah, and you held Stephon Diggs.
He was the AFC Player of the Week. 159 yards on the ground last week.
That's what I'm saying about Flus, though. I'm like, that is
Flus is nuts.
Flus is doing.
But the talent on that defense and the way, the cohesiveness and the way those trenches are built, it's just in a much better place than this offense. And I know it has to get going. It takes time, and a rookie quarterback plays another big key reason as to why it might be a little bit slower. But I mean, that last play to Rome, I mean, how is it that bad as far as communication, not understanding, hey, we're going to come back. Rome just was fucking running. Yeah. Like Caleb looked like he wanted back shoulder.
For sure.
And I'm like, that back shoulder was there too. That would have got you inside the 40, the Texans 40, I think, if not the 35. And you would have been maybe had a chance with like 15 seconds, or probably not with this offensive line. But I just think, that was just the icing on the cake right there to see just another lack of communication, not just with Rome, but a couple plays earlier to DJ Moore, right? Where I think there's a comment here where it says, did you see what DJ said on the sidelines after that miscommunication? Yeah, it looks bad. I don't even want to tweet it. I did tweet it and I deleted it because I don't really want to start it, but it looks like, and if you want to see it, just go on Twitter, type in Caleb Williams or type in DJ Moore. You'll search it. It'll be one of the clips. But
it's probably on my timeline.
This is for our listeners, but it's after the back shoulder throw that was just a really bad miss by Caleb. He rushed it and missed it by 5-6 yards. And DJ was visibly upset. He took his helmet off, immediately walked to the sidelines. He passes Tyson Bagent, and Tyson's right there. Tyson didn't really say anything, but DJ looks at him and he goes, let me pull it up. I think he said, "Dog, I need you." And it looks very, very it looks like that's what he said, because people are saying that's what
to Tyson.
He looked at Tyson, and then Tyson's looking at him, and it just doesn't. And that's why some people are saying, "Hey, DJ's got to act better for a second year quarter or a second game for a rookie."
Yeah,
he just has to act better. Some people are getting on DJ. I don't know if that's exactly what he said. It just looks, how when you see someone's caption and they're like, "Oh, DJ Moore said this," and you look at it for your first time. It just does look like that. And I don't know if it's because I'm reading the caption and I'm seeing the words syncing up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because if you look for those words, you can find it. But I'm just like, why would DJ say that? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, you could be upset though. Also, people.
Yeah.
He could apologize. Like if he did, I'm sure he would apologize. Like you're human. Like you're gonna get upset. I get it. I'm not looking too much into that because it's week 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's game 2. Like I know you're upset and you have every right to be upset. You're open and the ball wasn't delivered. A crucial play. But again, it's a rookie quarterback. Like game 2, one of the hardest positions in the whole league. Like I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah. Hey, if you guys, a lot of people in the chat, first of all, thank you for, tuning in. I know it's 11:41 at night, very, very late. So depending where you're at, we appreciate you just hopping in, talking Bears with us. If you're new here, we cover the Bears for SM. This is the BFR podcast presented by Fanatics. And so we do this every week. Post-game initial reactions, we go live no matter the time. And of course, we have our pregame shows and our other episodes throughout the week. So if you're joining us, leave a like. If you want to stick around for the rest of the season, of course, subscribe. We're on our way to 10,000 subs. I think we're over 7,000 plus right now that have joined us. So we appreciate the community we're building. I know there's a lot of great Bears just content out there. So if you're tuning in, whether live or after through audio with Apple, Spotify podcasts, we just appreciate you. I know it's not fun. Bears Texans, not the result we wanted. We don't have the high-powered offense that we've been wanting. But we do appreciate the support nonetheless. So hit it again, leave a like. Yeah. So Ficky, I think we have a couple supers. And then if you have questions in the chat, go ahead and send them in. We'll finish the show just kind of answering those for you guys.
For sure. And then I'm going to do a little read real quick before I pull up the super. So again, like Dave said, like and subscribe. We really do appreciate that. If this is your first time here as well, please give a hashtag new face gang in the chat, and I'll make sure to give you guys a shout out before the end of the show, or we will. And then also, if you're an OG, which means you've watched multiple of our shows, well, we much appreciate that. Go ahead and give a hashtag OG in the chat as well. And then also, this is your first time on our post game live shows. We typically we don't have any for this one because it's late, but we typically do voicemails as well. So like you guys can call in and give your reaction. So get ready for the next time we lose, because it will happen. Get that ready. We have a line in our Twitter handle. You can go there and then you can call in and leave a voicemail. So stay tuned for the next one. And then also, if you want to support us, much love. We really do appreciate it. We do have a merch store, thebfrstore.com. Link is in the description. We got hats, shirts, hoodies, all great things above. And then also, if you want to join our community that we're growing on Patreon, we have the BFR Den on Patreon, where we do giveaways, Madden League starting up on there. We got exclusive content, a whole bunch of good stuff over there on the Patreon, and the link to that is also in the description. Okay, now let's get to the super chats. So we have the first one here from our boy Tito. $2 here, said same shit, different year. Right, boys?
It's well said, Tito.
It definitely feels like it. I don't know what LBVS is, though. Dave, you know what that means?
No. I can look it up real quick.
Yeah, okay, thanks. I have no idea. But thank you, Tito. We appreciate it. And then this is a new one, I think.
Laughing, but very serious.
Thank you. Yeah. And then DJ here, Trackmatic on YouTube. And I don't know if I've seen you before. So if you're an OG, let us know. If you're a first-time viewer, we do appreciate that. He said, as a Justin Fields, I don't know what YB supporter is, but I'm assuming that's Justin Fields. I'm giving Caleb Williams the same rookie grace. This was his welcome to the NFL moment. This will either make a man greater or bow out. Yeah, look, it's not the end of the world. It feels like it, but like realistically, once you take a step back and once these emotions like die down and you like talk through it, you're gonna be like, okay, second game for a rookie quarterback ever, prime time against the AFC contender on the road. So normally the rookie quarterbacks don't even get a game like this, but because of Caleb Williams, they put him into this type of position because it's going against CJ Stroud. But CJ Stroud said literally after the game, he's like, oh, we didn't even get primetime games last year. So normally the rookies aren't put in this type of position. So it's a good learning experience. It just sucks as a fan because we are dying. We are dying to see some electricity on offense, like consistently. Not a play here and there. It's like we want to walk away. Dave, correct me if I'm wrong. We want to walk away from a game and be like, wow, our offense won us that game.
No, that's never going to happen.
At least kept us in it, right?
Oh, dude.
We haven't done that.
We can't have nice things. We can't have an offense in Chicago, no matter what aligns for us, at least right now. I think grand scheme of things, instant reactions, it pisses you off. This game really fucking sucks. Just there's no way around it. Just because you had a chance to win it so many times, especially at the end, and to be in this game, even though you're getting pressured on 36 of your 42 dropbacks that's on crazy. Offense, is a testament to this defense, and that is what it just to let them down. And it's not the first time a Bears offense has let a Bears defense down. But it's just getting old, I mean, I'm getting older, but it's the same shit. And I think that's what's frustrating too. Like as Bears fans, I know no matter the age, right? We've been watching this team for years and years. And as you put a lot of time, energy, you love it. You love Chicago, and it's just like, damn, Like, can we just for once, 2018 was a blimp on the map. It was a fluke. And again, it was led by the defense, right?
Defense still, yeah.
It was the defense that was just insane. And I feel like this Bears defense this year is very reminiscent to 2018 and how good it is. Because, I mean, again, not something to, actually, it's just very impressive to hold a team like the Texans to 19 points. Especially
anyone in the NFL.
And the NFL is kind of in a. I think the scoring's kind of down a little bit. I'll be honest, except for the Cowboys who got smoked today. But I think it is very, very. It's a weird start to the first two games of the NFL season. But again, the Bears are 1-1. So
no, and that point you made up, I think it was Mina Kimes talked about why that's happening is because a lot of defenses now, like the modern philosophy is they're doing a lot of like you can't beat us deep. And so you're going to have to do a lot of short stuff. And that's literally what the Texans did tonight. They blitzed and they're like, look, I think what Kayla had, he was like, before the final drive where you have to air it out, he was like 0 for 1 on yards, 20 yards deep, air yards. That's only one pass. And then I think from 10 to 12, he had like 3 passes. All the rest of them, air yards wise, were like 10 yards or less. And that's what a lot of these defenses are doing. And you know who also does that and was famous for doing that? Lovie Smith with the Tampa 2 defense. Is like, you're not going to beat us deep. Guess who also runs that? Flus. We really didn't see that many deep, big plays against the Bears defense, only when the play broke down, right? It was only when like Stroud would break a tackle, get outside the pocket, and then he would throw it. Every other time, it was like less than 10 yards, and that's why we were stopping them in that second half. So,
yeah.
Oh,
hey,
yeah, that's a good point
Ryan Bradley's such a fun. Yeah, the Texans kicker. What is it? Fairbairn,
I think.
Dude, great comment here on YouTube from Ryan Bradley. He goes, scores are down, but kickers are automatic from 55 plus. Honestly, I was like, can we get this guy to miss one? I was especially at the end of the half, the end of the first half, I was like, if he misses this, it's 13-10. You feel a little bit better. Feel a lot better, actually, in my opinion. But then you go down 16-10 because he hits he was just unreal today from 50 plus.
I think Mike Tirico was saying, though, that it's not just him. I didn't know this.
Not NFL Santos, though.
From 50.
Because that guy, so good,
Santos
so
doesn't
accurate.
Have a leg. He's accurate.
He gives everything. Yeah, he gives everything he can to that. And again, I love Santos, but
for sure. No, but did you hear the stat they were talking about? It was like from 50 yards out, like NFL kickers right now are like 70%. I was like, what? That's crazy. So
it's the NFL in 2024, man.
Who would have thought?
Kickers are, I really hope they drug test him though. That Texans kicker, because that was fun. He was hitting. He was not just making it, because you look at Santos. It was barely like we hit the camera and it doinked in, right? We got a camera doink, and then you got this guy who's just like, it's good from 70. This man is just unreal. And then you had the kickers are just really good in this game. But Santos is one of the best. I think he's one of the most accurate. But I do believe the power is just not what some of these other kickers have, in their arsenal. So, but Ficky, do we have any? Let's go through some. Oh, I'll tell you exactly why I deleted the tweet. One, because when I say Justin Fields was not the problem, he was not the problem. Simple as that. I know I addressed that early. Oh, it's why I did
that tweet. No.
I know it is
that tweet.
What tweet?
Yes. I thought you didn't you just say you deleted a tweet about what DJ was talking about?
Oh, but that was only up for, not a lot of people saw it. My Justin, when I said, so basically I tweeted it right as the game was ended that Justin Fields was not the problem. He wasn't. He didn't have an offensive line. Is he a great quarterback? No, but I think he was a lot better than a lot of people gave him credit for. Simple as that. But the reason I delete is because I'm not going to have people arguing in my mentions for the next 2-3 days. I'm just not going to start that argument. So
I'm surprised you
it had like 1,000 likes and like 10 minutes, and then had like over like 100 comments. I was like, I'm not dealing with this. But it's the truth. The Bears as an organization have failed not just Justin. You can say they failed many, many quarterbacks in the past, right? And it's just, it's the same shit with Caleb right now, where it's like the trenches were just not built correctly heading into his rookie season. And hopefully we're wrong. Hopefully this is all like a overreaction through 2 games, because hopefully it is, probably not going to be amazing, but hopefully it's better than what it is now. Like, it's maybe get to that I think we talked about it. 18th to 20th best offensive line should be fine.
Yeah.
Right now, giving up 36 pressures on 42 dropbacks, whatever it was.
It's crazy.
You're dead last, dude.
You're also hoping that the maybe it is regress to the mean because the quality opponent you're playing. Like I'm hoping we don't have to face Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson.
Bro, we got Aiden Hutchinson later on.
That's true. We do. But I can deal with
and
one.
5 sacks today.
With 2. That's the problem, though. It's always 2. It was interior last time with Tavondre Sweat and Jeffrey Simmons. And then this week it's Anderson and Hunter.
Dude. I wish they would have paid the money for him, because that would have been really – and the Bears defense is so good, so maybe they even need it, and that's just a luxury. And, yeah, we probably need to do more on the offensive line. So even the Keenan Allen addition is probably like, I would – because I think it was Collinsworth. He was like, man, the Bears – this is late in the game, like the 4th quarter, like 5 minutes left. He's like, man, the Bears are really missing Keenan Allen. I'm like, no, dude. They're missing offensive line.
No, they weren't. They're missing a
they can't – Keenan's not blocking
blocks.
Will Anderson. Sure. Okay. If he tries, he's getting hurt and he's out again. But yeah, there's a lot to work on. I think in about 48 hours, I'll be calm down. I'm like, okay, I can see 2-1 here. I can see 2-1.
Oh, you can see 2-1. I already feel that way.
2-1 and a couple of touchdowns from Caleb will make you feel real good. Kind of make this a little bit easier to swallow. But the problem is we have about 6 or 7 days until the next game. So it's going to be pretty shitty in Chicago for the next on the radio waves and content.
Oh, it's going to be unbearable. No problem.
I'm ready for the takes on Caleb, though. But I don't think that he's going to get probably the heat that he probably doesn't even deserve the heat. But I don't think there's going to be too many hot takes about like, bust watch or anything like that, but because of the pressure and the analytics that are already coming out from this Houston front. But yeah, it was awesome as far as the defense, but the offensive once again is just, they scored a touchdown, but that was it.
Yep, not much.
Lose you, Ficky?
No, I'm here.
Okay. So let's get through some of these questions. I thought we had a couple, or is this the OGs that you're marking on?
Yeah,
here?
these are the
I missed Jack.
Yeah, for sure. Excuse me. Much better than this than I am. Okay, so let's get through some of these call-outs here. We got Plastic Rockets here with the hashtag OG. Oh, hot take, though. Orange jerseys are trash. You agree?
Not a fan of them.
What about orange with the blue helmet? I like orange with blue helmet, not orange with orange helmet. Like the OG ones. That's what, like, with Forte and Urlacher.
I think I'm just over the Bears right now. So you could ask me, like, you can give me, like,
Fair enough.
Any type of Bears shit right now, I'm just like, I'm not feeling it, man. Like, no, I thought going into this game, I was like, I'm feeling the orange. Like, this feels good. But now it's like, I don't want to see.
Caleb had the blue one, but now I don't want him to wear it ever again because
I don't want to see that again because I remember. I don't want to see that. I remember that the sleeve game.
Okay, so we got a DJ here on YouTube with the OG. So thank you for the super chat earlier as well. We got Thomas Whitty here with the hashtag OG. We got Stephen Masani with the new face game. Welcome to the show. Appreciate it. We got Isaac Everett here with the hashtag OG. And then we got our boy Giovanni Garcia here on YouTube with the hashtag OG Bear Down. Let me see if I got any more. But Plastic Rockets agrees with you. Anti-Bears everything right now. And that is definitely fair. For sure. So I'm looking through. I don't see. Oh, here we go. Here's one right here. So Ryan Bradley on YouTube said, how do we feel about Darnell Wright long term? I mean, he had some false starts, but I think more of the pressure was on Braxton. I'd have to go through it. Yeah. Pressure was everywhere too because he got blitzed up the middle. It's so hard to tell. I don't know.
The problem is the offensive line, it's such an important unit where they have to be cohesive. They have to be able to work together, right? And that's why rotating last week between Nate Davis and Ryan Bates at guard was just ridiculous, in my opinion. Now, of course, you have to stick with Ryan or Nate Davis because Ryan Bates is on IR. So the rotation wasn't there. So even again, I mean, you're just not the consistency and maybe lack of talent too, just isn't there on this line. So Wright, of course, is not going to look as good because of it takes 5 players. It takes these guys to work together as a team, and I just don't see a lot of that. They're not communicating. Nate Davis looks like there's some moments with him where I'm like, I understand why some Bears fans are pissed off, through training camp where he was not practicing and he didn't get reps in, because like he just looks so lost and so confused, So, but Darnell Wright long term, I think will be fine. Will he ever reach that, his ceiling where you're like he's just like locked down, just a stalwart tackle? Maybe not, but I think he's gonna be at least above average in this league, just because his talent.
That's all I want. That's all I want. You get 5 above average linemen, you have a good offensive line.
I want to watch the tape though. It's hard to I want to see what he did. Him and Tevin Jenkins really want to see, and then even Coleman Shelton. I don't want to watch Nate Davis, but I'm going to, and we'll see. We'll see where everything, how it looks. But I think it's going to be a really tough watch as far as going back and watching the game just maybe through the the cut version where it's quick, and of course the all 22 I think will be important to show kind of just again where this. The pressure was coming from everywhere, but just
for sure,
kind of a little bit more in depth, and maybe find hopefully some fixes that can possibly be coming on the horizon for this offensive line, because they need it quick. And but Indy should be a little bit better. Their defense is good, but I don't think they're near what these last 2 have been able to put out.
There's going to be some easy. Look, we both said we're going to get to at least 8-9 wins. So there's going to be at least 1 or 2 easy wins on here. So. Again, it's an immediate reaction. I think the feeling is how most people feel, like, what the hell? Same shit. But things could change. NFL is crazy. Shit. Things can change so quickly.
It's the same shit. But the Vikings are 2-0. Everyone else in the NFC North is 1-1, baby. Okay? 1-1, and you were playing like ass on offense. So, what did you say?
No, I'm saying, that's the best possibility for your offense looking like garbage.
Yep. And so the point differential is the Bears have 37 points for them. They gave up 36. The Packers are 44. They gave up 40 or 45. And then the Lions are 42-40. It's the Vikings who are 2-0 who have a 51 to 23 point differential. They are just killing teams. Sam Darnold looks awesome. So, there you go. Vikings might run away with this division. Who would have thought?
Crazy.
That's
the NFL, though. So the good
it's so early.
We'll get another shot at it next week, and hopefully, I think this was. Let me know if you feel the same way. If we walk away from that game, obviously beating the Colts, and Caleb, looking like the Caleb that we know, people are going to forget about the first 2 because you're going to be like, oh, okay. Now we've seen it now. You know what I mean? The problem is we're so thirsty for the water. We're in the desert, so thirsty for that water. It's just that's all we can think about. It's why can't I have water? But as soon as we get it, we'll be like, okay, I'm good now. You know what I mean?
So the next 3 games here, you got Colts, Rams, Panthers, and then you got the Jaguars. Actually, if you go through 4, and then the Commanders. So all in all,
those are all very.
Colts are winnable. The Rams looked human today. They're going to miss.
Puka's out. Puka and Cooper. Cooper got injured today too.
Good Lord. The Panthers, okay, that's a win. We lose that one, okay. Then we're in deep shit.
We need to. We beat them last year and we were worse.
Jaguars look really bad. Trevin Lawrence said it himself today, we just suck. They're 0-2. So, you realistically, again, knew you're going to be 1-1 more likely than not heading into your week 3 matchup in Indy. It feels bad, how we got to 1-1, but you don't apologize for that. You fix it. You hope you can, and just do better. Caleb's had probably the worst start that I think we could probably imagine, just because I didn't think it was going to be like this. Now there's been a couple drops too with Keenan last week, Rome, this week where, it was a very, very tough catch, but you like to see your 9th overall pick come down with that. And so at the end of the day, you're 1-1. make something happen.
Yeah,
Man.
and realistically, you could beat all of those 4 teams, or even still like that's like you
Mhm.
could walk away being 5-1,
Thank
and
God
then
the
you just
Rams don't
like
have
week
Aaron
2
Aaron
did like
Donald
it
though.
mattered, but like yeah,
Oh man.
for sure. Aaron Donald or Puka or Cooper, you know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
for
No.
sure. But Aaron Donald would destroy literally every offensive lineman, and he would destroy our offensive line twice.
No. What? Yeah, that's what
By
I'm saying.
himself.
Ours, he would destroy a normal, and then sometimes I don't think we even have that during some plays.
For sure, for sure.
Other quick thoughts before we get out of here. That late hit on Caleb, which it was close. It was high
No, I
too.
think the refs were pretty fair tonight.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
there was the whoever's calling in because I know people are going for Fluce's head, and I do sound like a Fluce apologist, but he doesn't make the decision on the challenge typically. Like people are feeding in your ear, like challenge this. Whoever did that tonight was 0 for 2, and it actually ended up fucking us at the end of the game.
No, the first one was a fireable offense because he was inside. It was Nico Collins, I think. He was in there.
Stephon right to him, and he got both feet literally right in front of him.
Flus was looking right at it, and I'm always like, I can't lie where I'm like, oh, we should challenge that. I'm very challenge happy sometimes. But yeah, even I was like, okay, this is getting out of hand. At the end of the day, Bears still had a chance to win it. I'm not going to call for Fluce's job on that, but it is disgusting. And how the process and how they got there is just not ideal. And you even saw it. I think there was at least one bad challenge in preseason as well, where you're like, and maybe they're just going through the process in preseason to try to go through this.
Sometimes they do that.
But man, they got to revamp that too. Today. Yeah, they got to revamp it all. Throw it out the window. Throw it on Indeed. We need a guy, new person to come in and call downstairs to Fluce.
Yeah, because that was not good. That was not good. But I mean, other than
punch
that,
was thrown though.
A lot of penalties, but there was a lot of penalties for the Texans too. And I mean, I think D'Amico's a good coach. So, I think after this is weird. We always say it's like a therapy session, but like I think after talking this out, I'm like, you know what? Things could be way worse, and we have a soft schedule coming up. Let's see if they can get this offense right. Because at the end of the day, right, the only thing that matters is making sure the shit's right by like week 12. Because we don't play the NFC North, and those are the games that matter till the end of the season. So as long as this is all resolved and we win ugly to that point, right, where it doesn't hurt our chances to make the playoffs, fine. I mean, it's not the way I want to go, but fine. I'll take it. When we get to the NFC North, things need to be in a good spot. We feel confident about like on offense. Defense has been great on offense, where this team is going. Or at least what is our offense? What is it? Like, what is – at least we knew with Fields in the past.
The problem,
we know we're run heavy zone type stuff. It's like, what do we do?
And I said it, and I called it. I knew the Bears' run game was going to take a huge step back. It was going to regress due to Justin Fields and his legs not being here. Because I think there was a graphic where it was like 100. We averaged 135 yards per game last year. And I think we had 50. If you take Caleb's scrambles out, you're probably less than that. You're looking at like 20. And that is just, I mean, crazy, damn. Bro. Again, trenches though. And that's, I think, the biggest worrisome here. And the reason why the faith or the lack thereof is dwindling is because the offensive line is just, it's hard to like, if it's bad sometimes, right? You can't really make that a little bit, but you can maybe clean it up and, put a little, bow on it. And maybe you're floating at maybe 24th in the league. But right now they're just so bad where it's like bottom tier, bottom of the league, where it's like, man, you're looking at 28th, 29th, 30, 31st in the NFL. And that for a rookie quarterback is danger. It is
horrible. I think they're better. I think they're much better than this. I really do. I don't think this is going to be
that's the hope.
They're not going to be great. I'm not saying that. We never said that from the jump, but I don't think they're this bad. And that's why it's most shocking. I think that's why we're so pissed. We're like, bro, no, you're not. We know this. You guys weren't this bad last year. And we made improvements. So
yeah. And then Blasingame being out, I know he whiffed on a block last week, but he's actually pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, there's a good point here from Scotty. When Caleb, when they did block well, he was on time and accurate.
Yep.
I think he was. I think that's a fair fair statement. He did miss a couple throws like we talked about earlier. I think the hardest thing here is just to remain calm and reasonable and not tweet through it, right? Or, talk through it. But that's sports. I think that's why it's fun to kind of have these instant reactions because, you do care. You want the team to win. But at the end of the day, sometimes they play like ass and it pisses you off, and that's the Bears in a nutshell sometimes.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. Put that on the shirt. Yeah. They are ass a lot and piss you the hell off over and over and always on prime time, unless Thursday night for some reason, but always on prime time where everybody's watching. It's like, oh, great. You'll play well on Sunday where no one's tuning in, Sunday at 1, but
yeah,
when
it's always
prime
funny,
time, it's like, oh, let's shit the bed so everyone can make fun of us for the next week. Yay. So
anyways, well, hey, it's midnight. It's tomorrow, I guess it's today. It's a new day. So hope you guys enjoyed the instant reactions. We'll be back later in the week to preview the Indy game, Bears versus Colts. We'll have a good guest on that one as well. Ficky, safe travels. I think the Wi-Fi held up. Shout out to your hotel.
Appreciate it.
Happy birthday as well.
Thank you.
40 looks good on you.
Thank you. Honestly, that'd be great. I got so many great, bro. I'm getting this team also is making my grades like rapidly increase. I'm like, bro, chill out. Out. It's all good though.
No, happy birthday to you, man. Enjoy it. Safe travels home. We'll be back later in the week, like I mentioned. If you're new here, again, stay a while. We are on a road to 10,000 subs, and leave a like. Again, that's just the best way to support the pod. And we appreciate y'all. And like I said, 1-1, and we're still in the hunt. That's all you can ask for.
Still in the hunt, baby. I love that.
Right.
All right.
See ya.
Peace.